How's everybody doing today? Coach Fisher has a lunch-in engagement, and so we'll all meet at practice here in about 10 minutes. But I want to start off by congratulating football on an incredibly great season and wish them nothing but the best against Cincinnati in the bowl game. So we're all excited for Rocky and his team and the job they did. We're also excited to play again. It seems like we had 1,000 games in a short period, and now we've actually had 8 days between games. And we gave them a couple days off to rest their legs. And now we've gotten back to the practice floor, which we needed more than games at the time, and tried to fine-tune some things we're doing on offense while continuing to build upon a great defense that we're playing again this season, which has become typical of Aztec basketball. So with that, I will take any questions you might have.
How important were those 8 days to get back to the level?
You know, I think the 8-day break was good for us, obviously offensively more than anything. We tried to shorten our playbook a little bit, as you would say, and become better at the things we're doing. And that's everything. It's, first of all, taking care of the ball. We turn the ball over way too much. So we've really emphasized trying to take care of the ball. We'll see if that has any impact. We've tried to wait on our screens, set better screens, the things teams all over the country are working on and focusing on. Those are the things we're trying to get better at so that we become a lot better offensive team efficiency-wise.
It has to be hard to kind of know who you are when you've had such a varying different games. You've gone and you've beaten a ranked team. You've lost to teams that are better that you wouldn't want to be at. At what point still in the evolutionary process are you versus trying to figure out who you think you are versus who you really are?
You know, the beauty of basketball is there's so many different ways to play it. And obviously we've played opponents that want to play with us, go up and down the floor. And we've also played opponents that have tried to shorten the game and run all 30 seconds of the shot clock, shoot the last 5 seconds. And obviously those are the teams we've struggled with. You know, the ones that run a shot clock and then make a 3 late in the shot clock and shorten the possessions of a game. And obviously with a shorter game, you turn it over, they're magnified. So I think we're better off right now playing with teams that want to play with us. And at the same time learning our lessons about playing against teams that shorten the game to make sure that we don't get anxious because the game's shorter to try to score quicker, shoot the ball too quick, you know, take the first shot that's available, sometimes realizing that we may have to play at that pace. And we have 2 freshmen in the lineup, and so obviously there's a lot of teaching that's always going on. It's not 3 fifth-year seniors in the starting lineup. It's 2 freshmen, a junior starting Dakari starting, I don't know, his 6th or 7th game of his career. So we've got guys that are learning lessons, and our veterans are trying to help as best they can in whatever role they fill. Whether it's now Angelo starting and Skylar and Winston off the bench, they've been valuable in this 8 days, helping the young guys understand how to play basketball better.
It seems like the Grand Canyon is a team that will try to play with you. They just had a 108, 104 game. They like to score and go up and down. Is that sort of welcome to play a team like that?
Yeah, I think so, Mark. We've, you know, the more possessions there are, you know, sometimes your mistakes aren't as magnified. You know, you can get, if you play up around 75, 80 possessions, you can turn it over 12 or 14 times. And it's not quite as magnified as if you turn it over 12 times in a 60-possession game. And so I think right now we're better suited to play with teams that want to play instead of shorten the game. With that being said, I think we're going to be good at both, but the other's taking longer. Grand Canyon's averaging 80 points a game. They're aggressive offensively. You know, they play all man-to-man as far as I've seen, so we're not going to see zone. It's going to be a game that I think both teams will be excited to play and play another WAC team here in the building. It'll be kind of like a reunion.
How good is Dominic McGee, the guy they just added from Memphis, and he's only played 2 games?
Yeah. You know, McGee, I wasn't even reading the clippings, and I'm watching tape on him, and then I watched their game against Omaha, his first game. And I said, well, they've added a freshman transfer that just got eligible, and he took 22 shots in his first 2 games as a freshman. So I'm thinking, this guy took 22 shots in his first game, so obviously he thinks he's pretty good, and they do too if they're letting him shoot 22 times. And the other thing he's taken about 11 free throws a game. You know, he shot 10 free throws in their last game. So he's played 2 games. He's very aggressive off the dribble. The thing that we're going to have to adjust to is if he shoots the ball. You know, he hasn't shot the 3 very well yet, but he doesn't look like he's afraid to take it. So he's an aggressive attacking guard, and if he's making the 3, he'll be very hard to guard.
How do you deal with it? There's fans out there, the way the program has been the last number of years, there's fans out there that think you guys should win every single game. And then you know, falter a little bit against Little Rock and USD. How do you deal with that, knowing there are people out there like, oh, what's wrong with Aztec basketball this year?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that with the kids and all?
Yeah. Well, obviously we've set high expectations for the program. You know, we're a program now. We're not a one-hit wonder, and so the fans have expectations, the players have expectations, the coaches have expectations. And so when you stumble, it's not acceptable to anybody. So least of all the players and the coaches. So we understand that the fans want us to win every game. We're playing to win every game. But like I said, every season has a different path. You know, you think back to when we made our first NCAA tournament, we had to win the conference tournament with Randy Holcomb and Al Fox and Tony Bland. We had to win 3 to go to the tournament. And that team probably played its best basketball down the stretch. So there are peaks and valleys to every season. This team has not hit stride yet. I think we all know that. So that's why this practice time has been invaluable. We needed to play less games and have more practice. So hopefully what we've done in practice will now translate to games, and this team will slowly build on the success that we've experienced at Nichols, where we're shooting the ball better, maybe running a little bit more patterned offense, and build upon that heading into our last 2 non-conference games and then the conference season.
Do you think these 8 days were enough to see a transformation, or are we looking more like at the conference opener, because you're going to have a lot more practices before Kansas and then again 4 or 5 more before the conference?
You know, I think, you know, you got to get better or worse every day. So obviously we're nowhere near what we want to be yet. You know, and like I said earlier, our major concern is turnovers. I think we're turning the ball over 21% of our possessions. So 1 out of every 5 possessions, we're turning it over. So obviously you can't be very efficient. So if we could just take 2 turnovers off a game, if we could go from 14 to 12, or even if we could go 12 to 10, then we'll be a lot better offensively. So it's not the shots we take sometimes, even though it seems like it. It's maybe we need to put back offensively now and then, but our main thing is we have to take care of the ball better. If we take care of the ball, you could be talking football, any sport in the world. If you turn the ball over, it's hard to win, and that's a real concern of ours, and that's what we've really tried to emphasize: take better care of the ball, make better decisions, don't make the home run play, make the basic play, get the hockey assist, the pass that leads to the pass that leads to the basket. And that's all just teachable moments in practice. And so when we do turn it over, we're not trying to get them to play afraid, but we're trying to say this might have been a better decision for you to make at this time. Because the last thing we want is an unaggressive team that's afraid to make a mistake. But at the same time, we want them to value the basketball.